What's good, y'all? I'm back at it. I'm about to hit y'all with another video. First off, I do want to say thank y'all for getting my last video to 1,000 views. We weren't really talking about nothing too special, but I do want to make sure I tell y'all that Breadman is not Errol Spence's official trainer just of yet, right? He was just in Philly. He was getting some work in with him. They go way back. They're friends. And he was just there for a couple of days, and they was doing something called 25 rounds of hell, right? Where they just getting work in, they talking, they just being two guys in the gym. So I know my last video, I do appreciate y'all for liking, commenting, viewing it, all that. But I did want to classify that, he's not his official trainer just of yet. Now, Breadman did say that he is open to doing it, and he's not gonna rush a decision. But I just want y'all to know that he is not the official trainer. But without further ado, we're gonna talk about what this video is about. So this video is gonna be about what is Boots Ennis' next step. So for y'all that been subscribed to me, been following me, I released a video a couple weeks ago about Boots. Everybody was saying that he was ducking Virgil Ortiz, right? I told everybody in the video, he's not ducking Virgil. The fight just didn't make sense. A lot of the times people think it's just playground. You and you go fight and it's that. A lot of times it's not like that, right? You got the management, you got the different sanctioning bodies and etc. The fight just didn't make sense with all the idolization between Virgil and Boots. It didn't make sense. But I follow Boots a lot. I follow a lot of his family. I follow, I keep up with the sport. So this is what I've heard is next from my boy Boots Ennis. All right. First off, for y'all that don't know Boots, Boots holds the IBF belt at 147. Okay. There are 4 belts at each weight class. You got the IBF, you have the WBA, you got the WBO, and you got the WBC. All right. The other 3 champions at 147, you have Mario Barrios, you have Stanionis, and then you have Brian Norman Jr. All right, so let's go through those 3 guys one by one. Let's start off with, let's do Brian Norman. Brian Norman, he holds the belt, and there's been rumors about him and Boots fighting, etc. Brian Norman has a fight in March. Brian Norman's dad has been on camera saying they are 100% willing to fight Boots. The price tag that Eddie threw out there, etc. They said all that don't really matter, and that fight is gonna happen next. After his fight in March, they're gonna fight. There's no ducking, there's no going around the bush. His dad seems like he's a spokesperson. I don't know if that's his manager or his agent, but they want the Boots fight, right? So if they're fighting in March, usually fighters, it's like a 3-4 month period between when they fight. So if he's fighting in March, we can expect them to be ready to fight Boots in June and July. So let's cross him off the list. Now we got Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, he's kind of like the weak link at 147. A lot of guys are trying to go after Mario Barrios because obviously they know that they can't just go through Boots, probably can't go through Stanionis, who's been inactive for damn near 2 years now. And Mario Barrios, I don't like calling boxers easy targets, but Barrios is the weakest one out of all the 147 champions. There's even been rumors about Manny Pacquiao coming out of retirement and getting a title shot versus Mario Barrios. If that don't tell you enough about the stature of Mario Barrios as a champion, I don't know what will. But basically what I've been hearing on Mario Barrios, the last that I heard was that he's supposed to be fighting Conor Benn. For those of y'all that don't know Conor Benn, he's from the UK. He's a pretty big name over there. It'll be a pretty big money fight for him, right? Now, he does have to fight his mandatory pretty soon. He just fought in September. But as far as Mario versus Boots, I haven't really been hearing a lot of rumblings about it. I don't think that's I don't think that's on Eddie Hearn's radar right now. I think since Ben is signed with Matchroom as well with Eddie Hearn, I think he wants to get Ben a shot with Mario Barrios and then eventually try to unify between Barrios and Boots. Now let's go to my last guy, Stanionis. Stanionis is one of those guys that's from one of those places, Russia or somewhere over there, right? So there's not too much information out there about him because he's not one of those bigger boxers like Usyk or Lomachenko. But all I know about Stanionis is that he took a big vacation from the sport of boxing. I don't know if it was physical related or mentally related, but he basically didn't box for around 2 to 2.5 years, right? But what I'm hearing is that is the fight that is being scheduled right now for Boots Ennis. We're gonna have Stanionis versus Boots to unify the 147-pound division. Now, there were some big talks about Tiafimo versus Boots last week, and I heard everybody like, wow, he ducked Virgil to go fight Tio. I told everybody that fight, nothing was conclusive about that, right? And we just got reports that Teofimo is about to fight Matias, right? For his belt in New York in April or May. So with everybody saying that, oh, he's ducking Virgil to go fight Tio, we can cancel that out now. He's not going to fight Tio, right? Tio is about to fight a mandatory, I don't even think it's a mandatory. Tio has to get confirmation from the sanctioning body that he can go and fight Matias. That leaves Stanionis, right? So everybody that's been waiting on Boots, etc., he has said he wants to spend time with his family, Thanksgiving, Christmas, everybody. We are going to get a unification fight from Boots. I would expect in March or April versus Stanionis, right? Now, nobody knows Stanionis. Nobody knew David Avanesian. Nobody knew Karen, right? But what y'all should know is that Stanionis holds the belt at 147. What y'all also should know is Stanionis is probably the second best fighter at 147 outside of Boots. So I don't think this fight is going to get enough magnitude or enough notoriety, but I do want y'all to know that when this fight is announced and they come to terms and it's unified, this is probably going to be one of the best fights of 2025. And I want everybody to walk back their takes that said Boots ducked Virgil. First of all, how are you ducking somebody who's not even like, personally, I like Virgil. I'm a fan of Virgil, but he's not a guy that you duck, right? He's a guy that you get in there. I think they would put on a really good fight, but he's not a guy that you duck. I think the contract stipulations, everything that built up around that fight just didn't make sense to Boots. Boots does not want to move to 154 just yet. And I know when you're fighting, there's a lot of emotions that go through you after the fight. People are asking different questions. The lights, the cameras are in your face. All he said was that he is willing to move up to 154 for the right fight. You got guys up there like Bud. You got guys up there like Fundor who hold belts. Why would he go up there and fight Virgil? He's already the mandatory for IBF for Bakram, the guy that just fought Tim Tszyu. So if he's going to go up to 54, you might as well make it worth it and go fight for a belt. But that wasn't the case. The case is that Turkey threw a contract, threw some money at him, and just expected him to jump when he said jump. They don't do that over there. Bozy, all those guys. Boots, he ran his own show. But what I wanted to make this video and tell y'all that, now this is all speculation. I do want to say that this is speculation. I have no connections to Boots. I have no connections to Stanionis, no connections to Eddie Hearn. I'm just a guy that follows a lot of boxing. But what I'm hearing, what I'm suspecting, what I'm speculating is that the next fight for Boots is going to be versus Stanionis. And what I'm going to say is that it's going to be, one, it's going to be a really good fight. I think Boots is going to get tested. I think Stanionis is going to come in there and he's going to come in there to fight, right? He's not going to be one of those guys running on the back foot. We're about to see two pit bulls get in the ring and go at it for a unification fight. And number two, we're probably going to get it in around. So my timeline is that he fights Stanionis and Norman fights his fight in March, whoever he's fighting in March. And after that fight, it'll be Boots versus Norman for a bigger fight. And while all that is happening in the background, obviously we're hearing the Eubank versus Ben, versus Ben things. But I think it's going to be Ben versus Barrios or someone versus Barrios. It's going to be on the back burner. And eventually we're probably going to get a unification fight for the 147 division since Bud Crawford. The first one since Bud did it two years ago versus Errol, right? So basically, we should calm down, right? Let fighters enjoy the holidays. Let fighters enjoy Thanksgiving. Let fighters enjoy Christmas. 2025, that's when we can expect to see Boots back in the ring for unification. All right, everybody was like, he's not about to go and fight a Karen again. He's not going to fight a mandatory. Boots and Eddie Hearn they have said their stance. They want to unify the 147-pound division. So the timeline is going to look like, I'm going to say March, April, we're going to get Boots versus Stanionis. Now, I'm a Boots fan, so let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Boots win that fight. After the Norman fight, now Norman, he's a little toss-up, right? Whoever he fights, he might win, he might lose. But let's say Norman wins. He wins in March, Boots wins in April. Now, I would expect Norman's dad, they're not going to win in March and then go and fly back into another fight. In my head, I think they're going to win in March and be like, okay, now let's wait on Boots. If Boots has a fight date of April 20th, April 21st, let's wait. And then we're going to fight in August or September for a unification, right? It's going to be a 3-belt fight. So that's my timeline for Boots. I know everybody, they're growing impatient. They're like, Boots is 27, 28 years old. We want to see him fight someone. Bud has moved up. Errol has moved up. He's been talking about taking over the division. He's signing with Eddie Hearn. Relax, man. We are going to get a unification fight from Jaron Boots Ennis in 2025. We're going to get a couple of great fights from Jaron Boots Ennis in 2025, right? God willing. Now, everybody, I want y'all to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and if y'all like these videos, let me know, because I'm well versed in boxing. I follow a lot of boxing. I follow a lot of guys having to do with boxing, so I keep my ear to the boxing streets a lot. But I ain't gonna keep y'all here much longer. Appreciate y'all. Let's go. Let's get it.